because we have a very special person with us. Before I give his name to you, let me formally introduce Presiding Officer, President Fabricio, my distinguished past presidents sitting in the audience, past international directors, my colleague directors, all the district governors, fellow lions, and dear friends. The message I got from our today's speaker is that life is not about being an extraordinary human being, but being human is extraordinary. Think about investment. Think about retirement plans. Think about insurance. The first name that comes to our mind is Bajaj. Today's speaker is the chairman and managing director of Bajaj Capital Limited, who has over 30 years of strategic management experience in the field of investment banking, investment advisory, insurance brokerage, and financial planning. He is committed to institutionalization and the highest standards of corporate governance and is working with best-in-the-class board and empowering professional managers to grow the company in his current quest. He is a member of Entrepreneurs Organization and also a member of Young Presidents Organization. Our speaker has, look at his background qualification. Our speaker has done his MBA in International Wealth Management from University of Geneva, Switzerland, and an executive MBA, again International Wealth Management, from Carnegie Mellon University, Pittsburgh, USA. He holds an international certificate for financial advisory from the Chartered Insurance Institute, London, UK. He is also amongst the first batch of 25 certified financial planner designated holders in India. Key current appointment, he is founding chairman of Financial Planning Standard Board, India, and has been one of the key people involved in bringing the globally recognized certificate financial planner professionals mark to India. Well, friends, this was about his qualification, about his business background. What excites me more is this. What fascinates me is to know that he is a fitness enthusiast and is very passionate about Qigong, something to do about channelizing the energy. He has founded Omni Life, which is a holistic wellness platform that offers ancient wisdom-based solution ratified by modern science to life of total well-being with complete alignment of mind, body, and soul, which adds to one's longevity. Passions, apart from being research on human longevity, our speaker is very passionate about the Japanese concept of IKIGAI and is doing specific research on the same and has become an IKIGAI coach. IKIGAI is the process of finding your life purpose. In the last 2 years, he has conducted numerous sessions to help participants discover their IKIGAI and leverage their unique gift to huge professional and personal success. Our speaker's personal IKIGAI is to help people find their IKIGAI, that is life purpose. Maybe today in his talk, he may help us to find our life purpose, our IKIGAI. Friends, I proudly present before you all the chairman and managing director of Bajaj Capital, 3 times TEDx speaker, fitness enthusiast, and a man who is known as Japanese soul in Indian body. Yes, friend, he is known as a Japanese soul in Indian body. Put your hands together. Here is our today's speaker, Mr. Rajiv Bajaj. Sir, next 40 minutes is yours, and I'm sure I'm going to end up in today. Please, sir.
Am I audible at the back? Yes. Wonderful. Dear Lions, how are you feeling today? Day 2 of your convention, ISSAME Forum. and I'm delighted to be here. A big round of applause for all the lions. I want to start by saying, today we are talking about IKIGAI, the Japanese concept which is about finding your life purpose. For the first time ever, I may have addressed over 5,000 people over the last decade on IKIGAI, but for the first time ever in my life, I am in a forum where all the 500, 600 people here, everybody is following their IKIGAI as a lion. So honestly, it is a matter of gratitude for me that I have been invited to this forum to share some of my life experiences, and that is what I'm going to do over the next 30-40 minutes. And we should get a chance to interact for another 10 minutes after that, to exchange ideas, to exchange thoughts. So let me begin. My wife, on a lighter note says, I had a love marriage. I found her when I was 19 years old. We've been married for 31 years. We just went to Banaras for our 31st wedding anniversary last week. My wife said, thank you, sir. My wife says to me, Rajiv, you have fallen in love with me when you were 19 years old, but you fell in love again. Fortunately, this time with not a person, but with a country, that is Japan, at the age of 40. So it is somewhere during one of the conventions, one of the forums, I realized that this country is unique, this culture is unique, and I learned around 15 years ago the concept of IKIGAI. And I started going deeper. I have this quest. Whatever I develop an interest in, a true interest, I go deeper and deeper and deeper. So IKIGAI is one of the things I went deeper in, and it is compilation of those experiences which I am going to share today. First of all, my gratitude and my appreciation for lions all over the world, and we are in August company of the lions from all over the world, including your global president. So a big round of applause for all the lions for what you are doing for the community. Wherever there is a need, there is a lion. And I have been looking at Lions Club members and your service to the community from a distance. We have been fortunate to be introduced to your teams, and it is a matter of privilege. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity today. By the time we end this session, I would want to end with a commitment that wherever there is a lion, there is a Bajaj capital, and to serve you in whatever way we can. Let me introduce you to the team. Today, all the research I am presenting is done by this team of 5 people. We call ourselves IKIGAI 365. Let me introduce Professor Akihiro Hasegawa. He is a PhD. He is the only person in the world I know who is a PhD in IKIGAI. So he's in Taikyo University in Japan. He's an IKIGAI researcher. Mr. Shivendu, the person next to me, he lives in Singapore. He's a professor in Singapore University, and he is a mentor, and he believes that human capital all over the world needs to be transformed to do what they truly love doing, and that's where his passion for IKIGAI comes from. Sumati Gajpati, the lady on the right, she was born in Chennai 50 odd years ago, but for last 27 years she spent her life in Japan, and she's again somebody who's an Indian heart but lives the Japanese life. So she's the one who's introduced us to the whole, all the people whose lives we have researched and some stories I'm presenting today. Sumati is our Christopher Columbus, as we call her, the chief storyteller. And Rati is a certified IKIGAI coach who works along in the team. Together, we have written a book on IKIGAI. and it is presenting to you authentic Japanese Ikigai. This book is being published by Penguin. It will come out next year, and I'm going to share with you, you're one of the first audience to whom I'm sharing some of the contents of this book. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start with this 2-minute video, which is a self-explanatory session on Ikigai, coming from Okinawa in Japan, one of the 5 islands in the world which is known as a blue zone, a center of longevity. So, presenting you this video. Can we dim the lights, please, for this session? Switch this on.
沖縄では生きがいという言葉があります。毎朝起きる原動力を与えてくれるものだと思います。
目覚まし本当に遠くに投げ捨てようかなと思う時もあるんだけど、我慢して自分のお尻に鞭を打って起きて走りに行きます。
踊りの竜舞道場に通っている生徒たちの成長を見るため、
そうですね、私の生きがいは、いつも馬に会いに行くために仕事をしに行きながら、責任を持って人と馬とも接していっていますね。
お客さんがね、喜んでもらえたら一番嬉しいんだけど、
いや、自分には兄弟もいないし、この孫たちがたくさんね、たまには孫たちが寄ってくるさね。もう本当これが生きがいである。
世界チャンピオンになりたいんだって、俺はなるんだって、家族のために、チームのために、自分自身のためにということが生きがいですね。
家族があったり友達がいたりいて、みんなに助けられてこいつのために助けたいとか、それを苦にも思わずできたり、仕事も目標があってそれに対しての勉強や努力は全然疲れない、苦にならない現状のことじゃないですかね。一日楽しむために起きています。
沖縄ではハッピー、毎日が、幸せであればそれで生きがい。
Thank you very much. Yeah, so we could go back to the slides. So Ikigai is a Japanese word which comprises of 2 words. Iki, which means life, Gai means value. So it loosely translates as value of life or reason for being. As you saw in this video, Ikigai is also something which wakes up excited every morning. I want to ask you, Lions, 365 days a year, how many days of these 365, if you reflect, do you wake up excited? How many days? If it is more than 70-80% of the days, that means we are very, very fortunate that we are on the path of Ikigai. Am I right in assuming that because you're a lion and you are serving the community and you have something to look forward to every day, you are
always happy,
waking up excited? Now just imagine for a moment, many years ago, 1 decade, 2 decades, 5 decades ago, had you not become a part of this community, had you not been a lion, what would have been your life track? Would you have been as fulfilled and satisfied about your life journey as you are today? So let me hear it from you. Yes, being a lion satisfies you?
Yes.
So that is the reason I mentioned that everybody here is following their Ikigai, and once again I would like to express my gratitude as an outsider and a sense of appreciation for the work you're doing for the community. A lot of us, there are over a dozen books on Ikigai already, and one of them, when we Google Ikigai, this image comes up. Now it looks very complicated, but this is 4 circles. First one is what you love. Second one, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. So this Venn diagram of Ikigai, as it is known, is created by a Spanish author, anonymous, which got later translated to English in around 2014. Nobody knows the origins, who made it. This is what is called a Western definition of Ikigai, because it has a concept of what you can be paid for. What is the authentic Japanese expression of Ikigai is what you saw in the Nescafe film. In the Nescafe film, you see somebody tending to their horses, somebody crafting the wood, a grandma taking care of the grandchildren. So they are not getting paid for it, but they are doing it out of their love and their passion for that work. So Ikigai is different from passion. Passion can be something you do for yourself, whereas Ikigai is something which you are passionate about, but what you do for the community, what you do for others. So let us again put the lens of lions. You're doing what you love, you're good at it, it's a passion for you, it's a mission for you, you're doing what the world needs, and you are not getting paid for it. And that is the original authentic definition of Ikigai. So in fact, I would come back to this slide. The gist of our book, which will come out next year, is that Ikigai is different from Hatarakigai. What we saw in the Venn diagram in Japanese terms is called Hatarakigai, which is reason to work. And Ikigai is your reason to live. That is the difference. So Ikigai as a concept is much larger. You need not be paid for what you're doing. And still you would do it because it is your passion, it is a mission, it need not be your profession, and it is also your vocation. Presenting to you another perspective on Ikigai, which is the Hasegawa model, one of our co-authors. There are sources of Ikigai and feelings of Ikigai. Now, why would anybody get down on the path of following their Ikigai? Because they may be lacking in one of these feelings, a feeling of self-realization, fulfillment in life, motivation. They may be lacking something in their sense of existence, or they may be lacking a sense of control in life. I want you to reflect when you became a lion, when you originally signed up for the first time. What phase of life were you going through? What was going through your mind? There must have been a trigger which led to you becoming a lion. It could have been accidental, but in most cases there may have been a trigger. So these are the sources of Ikigai. These are health-related issues, something that happened in the family. It could have been an event. You had an imagination to serve the community. It is a role which you played in your school, college, which you wanted to continue in life. It is something to do with your society and your immediate community, which grew to a larger society of lions. So, sources of Ikigai and feelings of Ikigai when they converge, that is when we are on the path of Ikigai. But the agent of change is self. It is you who makes this change and brings about this change. So a time for reflection. I want to ask you, what is the primary difference between Ikigai and Hatarakigai? What if we told you that sources of Ikigai are so powerful in triggering a sense of feeling alive and fulfilled that you would still do something without getting paid or even getting recognized for it? So my question to you, Lions, is that what you are doing now, would you still do it if you did not get recognition for it? Would you still do it because you deeply believe in it? Yes? Yes. So that is, another expression that you are following the path of your Ikigai. Now let me introduce to you some stories of Ikigai. We are carrying around 24 such stories in our book, but let me present to you 2 or 3 such stories today. Let me introduce you to Kato-san. Kato-san is in a small village in Japan, around 2 hours from Tokyo. Kato-san originally comes from a family business, and he did not find job in his business because his uncle took over, and he had to go to the local employment exchange and see what was on offer. And they said, there is the only job we have right now is that of a caregiver in a senior center. So that's where he started when he was 24, 25. And Kato-san remembers one incident that there was this elder lady with dementia, and she wanted to see sakura leaves, cherry blossom. And she was denied the permission to go by the authorities, and that really hurt Kato-san. That is the day he decided, I would not continue here, I would leave this job. And he decided that he will set up his own senior center. And his senior center would be there with a difference. It would have no rules. It would be where the dementia patients would be able to follow what gives them joy. And if somebody wanted to see cherry blossom, they would be able to do that, and they would also get a chance to interact with the community. So there was somebody who came from the local council and wanted to challan this senior center because they did not have any boundary walls. And they said, you are not following the rules. Senior center has to have boundary walls. People can go out. He says, no, this is not a jail. This is a senior center. These are our elders. And they need to interact with the community. So people from the local community after their jobs would come and serve at his senior center. Children after school would come in the senior center and they would be taken care of by these elders, and there would be a very healthy interaction. What we saw there was a brilliant atmosphere where all 3 generations are interacting with each other, and it is a senior center. Kato-san's model, how we care, what it is called, he is invited now all over the world, and this has become the reference model for senior care in the world. So can we give a round of applause to Kato-san? Ishizaki-san. It was a rainy Tokyo day when we met him. We were expecting somebody elder because his age given to us was 84 years. What we find is a frame, a 6-foot frame with erect posture, blue suit, red tie, blue suit and tie, walking in, and that was Kato-san. I have not met a more vibrant and magnetic personality. He has a passion. Kato-san started as a bank manager for Mitsubishi Bank. Later, he became the chief of staff for the 4th generation head of Mitsubishi Corporation. And so therefore, during his banking role and during his job, as the chief of staff, his asset was relationship with people. And he kept nurturing anybody he met, anybody he exchanged cards with in his life, he nurtured that relationship. So he brought all these relationships into his retirement. And when we asked Kato-san, Ishizaki-san, when did you retire? And he looked at us puzzled. You know, what is retirement? I don't believe in the concept of retirement. He says, conventionally, I retired from Mitsubishi 25 years ago, but I am more active today than I ever was. He walks 15 to 20,000 steps a day. He takes care of his health. He takes siesta in the afternoon to maintain his health. He has a very unique way of releasing his stress. He goes to a Japanese temple, and whatever worry he has, he loads it onto the God he believes in, and says, I had this problem in my head, I want to today gift it to you, please handle it. And I'm going back to my work, which is networking. And he has one principle, a networking concept, and those of you who are mathematicians can compute. He says, he is a social networker before social networks were invented. He says, any idea you have, any cause you have, you speak to 150 people in your close network and request them to speak to 150 people in their close network. So 150 multiplied by 150, and this happens 4 times. 150 into 150 multiplied by 150 multiplied by 150. Now I have not done the exact math. He says this way, any idea which the world needs to know, and he's worked on causes like Fukushima nuclear disaster or Ukraine, he sent money to Ukraine. He says, by doing this, you can reach your idea to 1.5 billion people on this planet. And he has followed this. He runs a platform, joined an organization called Japan Platform. He himself, ladies and gentlemen, has raised over 1.5 billion yen in the last decade for Japan Platform, different causes like Ukraine, Fukushima, nuclear. Can we give a round of applause to Ishizaki-san? And he loves sake, as you see a sake bottle in his hand. So he even uses sake as a platform. After Fukushima nuclear disaster, people stopped having sake from the region. So he invited breweries from Fukushima to Tokyo. Their sake was tasted by people in his network for free tasting. And then later they would hold the box and people would contribute whatever they would wish. And that way he was able to bring back to life over 150 breweries that were struggling to close down. And he could enjoy good sake with his friends, have good conversations, and raise a lot of this money which I am talking about. Another passion of his is art. So he goes to 2 or 3 art exhibitions a week, and he spreads the word there, and that is also a platform where he enhances his network and raises money for his causes. So that is Ishizaki-san, my friends. Can we have sound to this video? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Masako-san. Can anybody guess this young lady's age? Well, I've given it away by writing. It's 84. But whenever I ask people, if I did put it up before and I asked you to guess, what would you guess? 60 or maximum. But her level of activeness is more than a 40-year-old, more than a 30-year-old. She is ageless. Ikigai is an ageless concept. When you are following your purpose in life, what wakes you up excited in the morning, which gives you a reason to live, which makes you fulfilled, fills your heart with joy, then age is just a number. It does not matter. That is what Masako-san proves. Masako-san's story, she looks very happy now, but her story originally is not so happy. She was a victim of chauvinism, where her husband was not as open-minded, and she would hardly get a chance to express her true desires. She was always interested in ballroom dancing, but she never gathered the courage to even ask her husband for permission. And her entire life, younger life, passed that way. When she was in her mid-60s, her husband developed cancer. They run a small ramen shop in Tokyo. She served her husband very well, but unfortunately in a few years he passed. And initially she went through a conventional phase of depression. But then she spoke to herself, she found herself again, got back on her feet, and her self-reflection was, what is it that will bring me back to life? And the concept of ballroom dancing came back in her head, that is what she would enjoy doing. Initially she felt guilt. She said, I never spoke to my husband that I'd like to do it. Should I consider? But then she gathered the courage and she went to the school and registered. Now she's an expert ballroom dancer. There was also a time when she was going to close down her ramen shop, and one of the customers came one day and said, Masako-san, this is one of the best ramens I've ever eaten, and unfortunately from tomorrow I won't be able to have it because you're closing down this shop. So she changed her mind. She said, no, my customers need to have. She narrowed down the menu, simplified. She earns just enough from that restaurant to run her day-to-day life. But her true ikigai is dancing. And her aim is that she wants to inspire people and to follow what is in their heart. So, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Masako-san for following her purpose in life. So I would like to, at this stage, request all of us to reflect on our own ikigai. There is a worksheet on your table. Can we switch on the lights, please? We would like to spend next few minutes reflecting upon our own ikigai in this moment. You are here today for a very special forum, the ISSAME Forum. You've been looking forward to it for weeks, months. You've come from several countries. You've been involved in several causes as a lion in the last few weeks, last few months. You have had several occasions which made your heart smile. So I want you to reflect upon these questions which are there in this questionnaire. If I could just run you through it. Please think of In the last 1 week, 2 weeks, or whenever you can think of, where were you? What time of day was it? What were you doing? Who else was there with you, or were you alone? What all did you notice around you? What was the particular moment and setting which made your heart smile? How did it make you feel? How did your kinetics, your senses respond? Your sight, your hearing, your kinetics, your touch, your smell, your feel. How did that moment feel? This is a sheet for yourself. Just write down in as much detail. And write down the one thing after this thought which you would start doing today on a daily basis as a reflection of the above. So let's take 3-4 minutes and fill this up for ourselves. Can we have the lights, please? Take this opportunity to take a selfie with you. Let's take one more minute, please. And whoever would like to share their experience, we can have 3 or 4 experiences, they can raise their hand. So volunteers can please help us by giving a mic closer to them.